The head of the NCAA, Mark Emmert, is basically saying,
if you want to know what Dan Patrick said next, just podcast it by searching The Dan Patrick Show. And as always, you can listen to Dan Patrick live weekdays, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. It's the Ben Maller Show.
I can't believe that.
It's Ben Maller.
We are told that KD wants who? Mark Jackson, the broadcaster. Mark Jackson, failed Golden State coach, to be the next Brooklyn Nets head coach. Should Mark Jackson want the job? Let's say this report is true.
Good afternoon, folks.
Should Mark Jackson even want to?
If anybody is tuning in on Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, remember, this is only a taste for a second. The first segment for all of you guys, you need to make the switch to Twitch, which is free, so that you can see the entire show and participate in the fantastic Bruno Nation chat room on twitch.tv/Tony Bruno Show.
The Nets, that is a job.
It's up on the screen. You can see the address.
2 a.m. Eastern,
free to join, free to follow, free to download.
Fox Sports Radio.
And trust me, you do not want to miss out what happens during the commercial breaks.
Sports trending now.
Starting with breaking NFL news, yesterday's Washington Post report, including 15 former female employees of the NFL team,
I got your
claiming they were
pipette
sexually
already
harassed
upstairs.
by team
I'll bring it
executives. Today we get a statement from owner Dan Snyder, who says, quote, "The behavior described in yesterday's Washington Post article has no place in our franchise or society.
It is already hot down
This
here.
story has strengthened my commitment to setting a new culture and standard for our team, a process that began with the hiring of Coach Rivera earlier this year," end quote. He goes on to talk about the team hiring a law firm to conduct a review, after which they will implement new policies and procedures to, quote, "not only avoid these issues in the future, but most importantly, create a team culture that is respectful and inclusive of all," end quote. Meanwhile, Tiger Woods continues to plummet. He is now 4 over par through 14 second-round holes at Muirfield.
Isn't it about time for somebody's favorite radio program?
The Tony Bruno Show.
The man chosen to save American radio from its horrible future.
He didn't invent radio. He just perfected it.
Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays.
Parental discretion is advised.
The godfather of sports radio.
It is a final.
Here is Tony Bruno. Tony Bruno.
Viewer discretion advised. It is the Frisky Friday edition of Watch Harry Mays Go Ballistic. During live golf on the program. Nobody is more angry watching a sporting event than I've ever worked with than Harry. Well, Peter Brown.
Peter Brown?
No, Peter Brown, because we were watching a lot of baseball late at night on ESPN radio, and he had bets on every game, and so he would go crazy. Harry's different. Because, we were working late night then.
Yeah.
Now, we're doing day and night, and live golf is on Thursdays and Fridays in these events, and they're televised. And so Harry Mays, was visibly shaken during the first round when his boy Dustin Johnson pooped the bed in the first round.
Threw up all over his shoes, as they like to say.
Exactly right. Yeah. And that trunk is wide open right now. There'll be a lot of trunk slamming, which I learned this week for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
There'll be a lot of trunk slamming by big-name golfers before this Friday is over in Dublin, Ohio.
I would like to see the actual tournament of the guys that missed the cut rather than the guys that made the cut.
The cut line's about two over.
2, yeah.
And there's a lot of guys who are going to really, really, really have to scramble.
Yeah.
And pray.
And half of them don't care.
No, you're right.
They
you can see
do not
care. You can see when they know that they're 8 over.
They're like,
and they got no shot of making up 6 shots.
Right.
And they're now like all over the place. They're hitting out of parking lots. They're hitting it out of the 19th hole lounge.
I got millions in the bank, and I got a private jet waiting for me to take me back to my Instagram-looking wife or girlfriend.
Exactly
and
right.
I will spend a weekend with her. They don't care.
You're absolutely right. So then why do you care then, Harry?
I don't know.
That's the question.
Because I got nothing else to do.
We're doing a radio show here. We're doing a Friday extravaganza for the people out there. We're here for the people.
Yeah, right.
We're not here for the PGA Tour. We're not here for the NBA.
Yeah.
We're not here for baseball.
Are we going to have to take up a collection today on the show?
No, we're going to get that straightened out, Harry.
Oh, yeah?
Because, yes, we had a breaking story yesterday during the last hour of our show.
Yeah, late.
That our own guy on the couch.
Couch guy.
No, Colin the couch guy. So I ask these guys every week, every day when they come in, did you find a place to park, and are you legally parked? Because even though you have a parking pass, that I went and stood outside in heat and humidity and waited in line for an hour to get these guys. Said, did you park it? Oh, yeah, I parked in the spot. Are you legally parked? Yeah.
Yeah. That's the first thing you ask. The second thing you ask is, did you take your temperature?
Exactly.
Every day when everybody comes
well,
in,
that's what we're supposed
happens.
to do.
Right.
That's a safety first.
It's a protocol. Actually.
Unlike the Texas and Florida and all these other places that are now counting COVID cases, that when somebody gets retested 5 times, they count that as 6 different positives.
Right.
That's what's happening with all these books being cooked now, yet the media doesn't pay attention to that. And you wonder why no one trusts the media in this country. They are ignoring these stories, Harry. The books are being cooked. It's either incompetence or it's absolute fraud, what's happening in this country. But you listen to whomever you want. But I got to rip the NBA today, Harry.
No.
It's not my style normally.
Wait a second.
I try not to find stories that make me go crazy. Just like you go crazy about guys who bet on in golf every week.
Yes.
To win a couple of bucks. I have no money involved here. I'm not going crazy because I bet on the NBA or bet on teams here. I go crazy because I see just what an absolute joke this league makes of itself every single day. But anyway, we got to get back to that before I see now you got me thrown off here. So Conlon,
sorry,
the couch guy, says, "Oh yeah, I parked okay." Then as soon as he leaves, he sends a picture to Robin. Not one of himself nude. He didn't send that one, no. Not even on National Nude Day. And it's a picture of his parking ticket that he got for parking on the next street in a handicapped spot. Now, in the city, people used to, they used to scam the city. You used to be able to beat the system. It's not just it's in the street, like in a parking lot when you go into a Home Depot or a market. You can see the blue lines in there, and that's the handicapped spot, and you realize it.
Right.
People have, the city puts in, it used to put them in, you'd be 6 on each block, because people wanted to get a reserved spot. So they'd have a handicap placard and they'd park in front of their house. Then the city stopped and caught on to that. But on the block he parked on, there are 2 of those handicap signs. And he parked, and he was parked in a handicap spot. When he left, he had a $301 ticket.
Yes.
For parking there.
Serves him right. I mean, you don't park in a handicap space.
We found out that there was actually a fairly logical explanation as to what happened.
Very logical explanation.
Exactly.
I will be actually contacting my lawyer, Mr. Dan Lust, and we're going to fight this down.
I would fight it all the way to the Supreme Court.
All right, so here's my
explanation. And hopefully Justice Ginsburg will be back to hear that case because she's in the hospital again.
So yesterday I'm coming to the show. It's 2:30. I'm not late by any means, but I can't find any parking on Siegel. So I turn around, loop around, I take the next street. So obviously that street is a one-way going this way.
Yes, that's how most streets are. You can't go 2 ways. You can't even go one way. You can barely fit in these streets.
Well, that's the thing. So there was a Dodge truck, that was parked facing the wrong way. So it looked like some guys were loading some debris from somebody's yard into the back of this truck.
Now, that's just the bodies that every night from the murders that
it was
are
Kenny's
happening every hour.
Loading up the truck. Yeah. So these guys, I look at them, I say, hey, you guys are parked the wrong way. You can't park this way. And then a woman, as soon as I say that, comes out of her house. She goes, what are they doing? I need to get out. I said, I don't know what they're doing. Why don't you go ask them? She goes, hey, you guys can't park like this. I need to leave. So he said, back up. The guy gets in his truck. He goes, okay, I'll back up. She goes, hey, listen, when I pull out, you follow me. Now, let me remind you, this woman was on her own 2 feet. She had no apparent disability whatsoever. She said, hey, when I pull out, you just come take my spot.
Well, that's half the people in Philadelphia that have it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I want to know
Don't you understand how scams work?
No, I want to know what her disability was.
But the point
is, there's a sign there, right in front of you. You look at the sign.
But he didn't, because she told him just park in my spot.
That's not an excuse.
I wasn't disabled.
Come on, Harry. We're trying to get this ticket beat.
That's not an excuse.
What are you going to do? He doesn't make money on the show.
But there's two
He's a volunteer.
points.
Where's he going to get three?
I don't
make
know.
$301 on the show.
That's not my problem.
I got to write this off as an expense report. I'm going to mail this to Krause.
None of this is my problem.
It's my problem because I'm the one who has to go buy the stupid parking passes and people don't know how to park. Jesus.
Point is, he didn't look up. He parked in the spot, but he wasn't in the spot completely.
Fully.
It was actually just part of his car that was in it.
Right.
And so he didn't. Anyway,
enough about that. Let me get back to the NBA.
We are going to take care
Let's
of it.
get it back to the NBA.
Get it back. And, if you guys can Venmo me,
Did you
Conlon
take pictures of
Farrell.
your car and in the spot and how far you were in the spot and out of the spot?
Yes, we have all that. So
I have
we're
all
good.
that information.
You do?
Don't worry
Yes.
about it.
Gee.
All right. I don't
This
think
is like
you're going to
people
win.
talking about their fantasy team. Nobody cares.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to get the NBA music on here. And now, ladies and gentlemen, proving once again what an absolute sham show, what a smoke and mirrors debacle the NBA is, and how the Washington Post is also another absolute waste of paper, ink, and humanity inside that building. This is the headline in the Washington Post Morning Mix, Harry. Morning Mix. Can you bring that way down underneath me now, Joe? Thank you. Before Robin starts going apoplectic here. I know, up and under. I want the music.
Purposefully not saying
No, but
anything.
I want the music to be playing. Robin just wants it cut off. This is the NBA. This is Round Ball Rock from John
Lies.
Tesh. Here's the headline in the Washington Post. Critics pounce on James Harden for wearing a thin blue line mask.
All right. Who are the critics that they speak of?
That would be everybody who works at the Washington Post, anybody who thinks that wearing something to back the police is white supremacy driven. Anybody who thinks that the thin blue line or mentioning Blue Lives Matter is white supremacy. This is what the Washington Post Tim Elfrink writes. The Houston Rockets probably knew that a Thursday night tweet from the team might invite some controversy. Above a photo of superstar guard James Harden wearing a face covering, they wrote, "Mask up." A still divisive demand in a nation where masks have been heavily politicized. But it wasn't the message that quickly stirred up a frenzy of critics. It was the image on Harden's mask. Harden's face covering featured the thin blue line, a pro-police symbol that critics have long claimed also stands for white supremacy and opposition to the Black Lives Matter movement. Because, you can't care about black lives and care about police at the same time.
No, it's impossible.
How can you do that?
It's one or the other.
And it's also a Punisher skull in part of it, which, according to far-right groups, has been associated with right-wing extremists.
Well, is Harden claiming that he didn't know what the mask meant?
So then Harden, and of course it says neither the Rockets nor the NBA, which also shared an image of the mask on their Twitter accounts of more than 30 million people, reported late Thursday to questions. They didn't respond to questions about how Harden got the mask and whether it was meant to be a political statement. By the way, this is a league that has announced it's allowing political statements by painting it on the court, allowing guys to put whatever they want on
the
it.
back of their jerseys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they're saying, we're going to put political statements on the courts when we play, but how dare, and again, James Harden, and I believe he doesn't know. He said he didn't know what it was about, like that should matter. He said he thought it looked cool, and then he found out from all of his boys in the NBA that you can't wear that, man. You can't wear that. Young Thug, a friend of James Harden's, stuck up for him, though, saying he didn't know that the thin blue line, what that meant.
Well,
so now
that's weak.
That is weak.
You'd have to. Everybody knows that, don't they?
These guys don't know anything, Harry. All they know is where's the IG models at? Where's my room nice enough? And I'll get to the room situation, too, because that's an even bigger scam. That's an even bigger joke. A league that's screaming about equality has two players staying in presidential suites and the other guys staying in rooms that look like a Motel 6.
No wonder Rondo is so pissed off.
Exactly.
But you're not allowed to know that they were staying in presidential
Did you
suites.
see what they did?
Yes, I did.
Did you see what they did
Yeah.
with Dame? So to get Damian Lillard of the Portland Trailblazers, who have a very small chance of making the postseason in the 8 remaining games.
To incentivize him to go to Orlando.
Because remember, he said he didn't want to go, Damian Lillard, one of the best players in the league.
They had to give him a presidential
So
suite.
he gets a presidential suite. But here's the best part. So they post a picture of him in front of it, and on the wall, on the door, it says presidential suite.
Mm-hmm.
And they post a picture of all the balloons because I guess it was his birthday. So then the NBA, being the devious, no good, communist-based Marxist operation that it is, the suck up to China, China's personal bitches, the entire NBA, they put a second picture up. We'll show you this. This wasn't. They smeared out where it said presidential suite.
Yeah, they blurred it out.
They blurred it out.
Yeah.
It was like the box. Remember when they used to put the boxes on TV? That was a big
pixelation. It was
they
like
would put a box
right?
over stuff. Like if somebody's flipping the bird, you can't show that on TV. So they got to pixelate the guy's hand because nobody realizes that he's flipping the bird to somebody. So you got Damian Lillard in the presidential suite, and then LeBron James, the king, he's got like a whole wing of a hotel.
Well, he's the king.
I thought you were only allowed to be in there by yourself. Why does LeBron James need an entire wing of a hotel? I want Rothstein to answer this. He is the NBA honk on the show. He is a lapdog for LeBron James and all things China.
I have no answer, man. I'm with you on this. I was the one that tweeted this photo out with Dame Lillard and the presidential suite. I think it's hilarious. It's a joke. I'm not going to stick up for LeBron
No, listen,
and
he
these
should
guys.
stay in nice court.
Yeah,
but if you're going to cry, everybody should be the same and there's justice and equality for all, then you can't have a class system when it comes to giving out rooms to the players, right? Aren't they all in the same league?
I just think it's a joke that the league actually went out of their way, whoever runs that social media NBA Twitter account, to crop out presidential suite. That's going to be a difference maker in anything.
Right.
So
it's
if
hilarious.
you see, if you're watching Twitch right now, you can see the original photograph.
Okay, so there it is. Happy birthday, brah, Damian Lillard.
And you can clearly see
right there. See, there's
where
a
it says
goal.
presidential
and you've seen
suite.
presidential suites.
Yeah.
If you get on, you're lucky enough to get on that floor.
Right.
And there is a presidential suite on the right door where where you do the key swipe. So then, they see that. This is on SB Nation, by the way, too.
Right.
And then swipe to the next.
Now, if you go to what the NBA tweeted out shortly thereafter.
Can you go to the next slide, Robin? I feel like I'm in a
you can see
PowerPoint presentation.
You can see where look, the presidential suite is no longer
I don't see
visible.
where it's gone, Robin.
Because you're watching the delay, Tony. That's not
okay.
what
All right. Then that's just they took it off. They blurred it out.
There it is.
They blurred it out. Why? Why? Then let me repeat. Why? And it's a bad Photoshop job. Our intern, Dikembe Mutombo, can do a better stinking Photoshop job in his hotel room or in his dorm room, whatever the hell he's in, with a couple of things stuck on his back wall with only one piece of tape.
Those stupid articles hanging on the wall.
This kid just graduated from IU.
My God.
And he's got one piece of Scotch tape holding up legendary autographed copies of the Indiana basketball team, signed by Tom Crean.
I would have at least expected like a life-size cardboard cutout of Bobby Knight standing in the room. I mean, come on.
Exactly. Throwing a chair across the court.
Well, or a life-size cutout of both of you guys.
Right. Damn right. My fat head should be on that wall. And it is a fat head. Anyway, we're going to talk to our good buddy, the Daily Hombre. I'm sure he's got a lot of thoughts on all of these things.
A lot of anger.
The great Michael Bradley. He's going to join us next. We got a lot of good stuff today. We're going to have some fun. And yes, it's Friday. You know what that means, Harry.
Happy hour.
And it's going to be an extended happy hour today. I guarantee that. Stick around.
We have back-to-back birdies from Dustin Johnson.
I know. You're excited. He's now +7, Harry.
He's +7. He's not going to make the cut. There's no way.
He's on his way.
Get at it.
He's on fire.
On his way.
They need the cut to be pushed back to 3 and have Tiger slide in there. You know what I mean?
Now, is Tiger still +4?
Yeah, Tiger finished +4.
Oh, he's done.
No, he's
done.
+3.
+3, yeah, that's right.
Oh,
And
okay.
the cut's +2, though.
I know. So Tiger's not going to make it unless the line changes.
Unless they
yes.
move that back.
Not the thin blue line. That would be racist.
The CBS executives and lawyers are going to try to lobby the PGA Tour to get that cut moved to 3.
So I just found my old hard drives.
Oh,
I want to hear
that.
that.
Great.
Yeah.
Hoss. Comparing resumes. That was just phenomenal that day.
Waiting for Michael to join the Zoom room. Temperature checks are good. I think we all did temperature checks, right? I did not.
I didn't check mine recently. I've
Here.
checked it multiple times, but let me check it again. I feel warm right now. I may have to self-quarantine for the rest of the show.
I am, 99.3.
No, that's high for Robin.
That's a little high.
I'm
But
doing my,
I'm
what is this
schwitzing
called
over here a
again,
little
Robin?
Pulse ox.
Pulse ox.
Pulse ox.
Pulse ox meter.
I went and saw them the other night with Mike Missinelli and Ruben Frank at the TLA. 98.2. Smooth jazz.
Where are you, Mike?
I'm 98 and 86, so my pulse is a little high. It should be. I'm not low-key faded. It's not. It measures your oxygen, your specific. So this is what people have been using to show you how masks are worthless. Because you put a mask on and then you do this, and you'll see your oxygen level goes way, way down with a mask.
Hey.
And you're breathing in carbon monoxide.
Mike is not. Can you text Michael and just confirm that he should be joining us here.
It wasn't 95.5, the Coyote in Phoenix, was it, Robin? Smooth jazz. The
It
Coyote.
might have been.
That's what Penguin AZ, because I used to listen, because I love the guy, Jeffrey, what was his name? The guy who did the commercials for 7-Up, the Encore.
Yeah. Oh God, what was his name?
Jeffrey somebody. Yeah, he did all the liners for the smooth jazz station in Phoenix, and he had that unbelievable, not just a deep voice, but just his whole exaggerated delivery. It's phenomenal, man.
Oh no, he's here. Never mind.
He wasn't in Live and Let Die.
Michael.
Oh, maybe he was. Yeah. He's an actor, but he does a lot of voice work. I don't know.
Oh, look at that background.
Michael Bradley's in the big house. Oh, he's floating right over midfield.
Yeah, there you go. Let's sit up a little. Nice.
Tiny man, big house.
I still can't hear you, Mike. Oh, there you are.
Welcome back to the Tony Bruno Show with Harry Mays on SiriusXM 211.
It's a Friday. We're having fun. Every once in a while, something will irritate me, and I have to let it out, Harry. My psychiatrist told me a long time ago, don't hold it in.
Right.
You hold it in, what happens? But we're joined now by a man who joins us right from midfield.
He changed it.
Oh, now he's out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and it is Shark Week, and he is about to be consumed by an actual great white shark. Hopefully he can make it through the segment. The great Michael Bradley, El Hombre, or the Daily Hombre.
Daily Hombre, yeah.
It's El Hombre. He is El Hombre, but he's the Daily.
Yeah.
Now he's got the Cookie Monster. What the hell are you doing, man, playing with your backgrounds?
It's a lot of fun, man.
Put the big house by. That was my favorite one. So, obviously, Michael Bradley is a big Michigan fan. If you
Michigan
haven't known.
apologist.
Apologist, yes.
Yeah.
He's out there. He's the one who buys the khakis for Jim Harbaugh. Now he's got the Fonz on his motorcycle in the background. Did you just get this new toy now with your backdrop?
No, I was teaching Zoom stuff all semester, so I've been doing this for a while.
I like that. You got the Chrysler Arena and the big house right behind you there, man.
Now the Chrysler Center.
I'm sorry.
Put some more money into it.
Chrysler Center, come on. Is there soft Corinthian leather in there now? Did they bring in the old Chrysler Cordobas? Remember that?
See, this is not Chrysler name for the car. This is name for Fritz Chrysler.
It's spelled differently, I think.
I know.
Right?
It's
He
all right,
brought
Michael.
the winged helmets to Michigan.
By the way, first of all, condolences on the loss of
Yes.
of your mom last week.
Thank you.
I was surprised when I heard it, and we really send our prayers, man. I know it's tough.
Which is good.
All right, now let's get to the topics at hand. Now you write every week, and you always let out the vitriol, the bile, whatever you have building up within you.
Bile.
What do you have for us today, my friend?
I consider that here's what I consider that. That's trenchant athletic analysis. Okay, it's not bile or any of the other vitriol or any of the other things.
Flotsam, jetsam, none of that stuff.
Exactly, none of that. No, I'm happy to see that the great owner of the Washington NFL franchise, little Danny Snyder, has finally been driven by sponsors and other part-time owners to change the name of his franchise. And in every statement that he gave out, he listed sponsors first. Forget the fans, forget the players. It's sponsors. So this guy's motivated entirely by cash. He's a turd's turd. But I don't want him to lose his ownership, because as long as he's there, the Washington NFL franchise will stink. So this is a good thing.
Now, you make a great point, because yesterday, the previous few days, this whole week actually, it started off with this crescendo of Washington's going to change their name. They're going to change their name. Then they finally do. They drop Redskins. And then what's going to be the new name? What's going to be the new name? And then we interviewed the guy with the 44 trademarks, and we got into that whole thing.
Philip Martin McCauley.
Exactly right. Yeah. When you have three names, you know you must be important.
Either that or you're a serial killer.
You're a serial killer, exactly. So then we get to, the Washington Post is going to break a major story, and it's going to bury Dan Snyder. So then they release it yesterday afternoon. 15 former employees are angry. And then Dan Snyder comes out today, Michael, as you know, and he says, hey, I don't want this stuff happening. I'm going to make sure this doesn't happen again. And there are people thinking that somehow, some way, that this was going to cost him to lose his franchise. And I said yesterday, there's no way you can fire an owner, and there's no way you can force him out unless he has committed a crime for which he would go to jail, and then you still can't take the ownership away from him, can you?
Well, the NBA took it away from the slumlord with the Clippers.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
When he was caught doing some stuff, and I don't think he went to jail. Sterling, he was just a horrible guy.
No, they got his girlfriend. They got his paramour, his side piece, to record conversations with him and set him up, and then he basically was unsheathed and unveiled, and he basically had to quit because he was a slumlord, and everybody knew he was a slumlord on Wilshire Boulevard, owning all those apartments. But you're right; they forced him out. They didn't physically take him out, but can they force him out of the NFL? Is the bigger question.
The only way is if it gets traced to him. If his underlings are doing things like this, as contemptible and as disgusting as they are, he can be slapped on the wrist for having a culture of sexual harassment. But unless they find him doing it, they're not going to be able to get rid of him.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Can't they just do like what they do to college basketball coaches and say that you lacked institutional control and put him on a show cause penalty and basically has to leave the organization?
The problem with the NFL owners is every one of them's got show cause stuff worthy, show cause worthy stuff in their closets.
Exactly.
So if they go after Snyder for something like this, then he's going to start saying, "Oh yeah, Jerry Jones," and "Oh yeah, McNair family," and "Oh, they know enough to keep their mouths shut."
Yeah, I lived in L.A. 11 years. Everybody out there knew Donald Sterling was a sleazebag.
Oh, it was a common knowledge.
Absolutely, it was, and they knew about it. And the L.A. Times and all the local media knew about Sterling and his, the Miracle Mile, all the properties he owned and how he treated people. Yet he still had a black general manager and a black coach, so he got credit because his teams were good for a couple of years, and they actually were better than the Lakers for a couple of years. And so what happened? They cut him some slack. But then they set up the girlfriend to finally bury him, and they wanted him out, and they got him out. That's how it works in this world.
And that's the thing. The owners all going to take care of each other, because all of them want to keep making money.
Yep.
And all of them want to make sure that nobody comes after them. Now, Jerry Richardson got thrown out of the Carolina situation for this, but he was caught as part of he was one of the ones doing it.
Yep.
He was the one that was doing stuff with sexually harassing people and making lewd suggestions. That's different than having the underlings doing it. They'll say, okay, we may fine you, sensitivity training all around, all that. But Snyder survives. And again, I want him to. I don't want a responsible, smart owner in there. I want this knucklehead.
But here's the bigger question, and we're talking to the Daily Hombre himself, Michael Bradley, not the former soccer great.
No.
Although his hair, he's looking a little bald, sort of like Michael Bradley now. You're starting.
I have a quotation on my wall from him that was in Sports Illustrated. It said, "I'm sure at times people thought, who is this little, I'm not going to say a word, but I'm like, it fits me. So, it's perfect."
Now, I want people to know, if you're not watching us on our Twitch stream, You have do you have a clicker there like the weather people do when they go from the slides and show you the Midwest? Because you're changing your background. Now you got the great
John Belushi.
Blutarski, of course.
Yeah, from Animal House. Yeah.
Just as he's about to smash the guitar.
Right.
By the way, that was being held by Stephen Bishop, who wrote On and On.
That's right.
Exactly right.
Wrote the theme song for Animal House and was the one singing the song. And more Animal House mindless trivia. That song he's singing is more than 600 years old.
Was it I Gave My Love a Chicken That Had No Bone?
Had no stone. I gave my love. Let's see. I gave my love a cherry that had no stone. I gave my love a chicken that had no bone. I gave my love a story that had no idea. And Stephen Bishop didn't know that Belushi was going to do that.
This is phenomenal Animal House knowledge right here. Hey, by the way, was it over? On and On was the song you were talking about, right? Down in Jamaica, they got pretty woman. I love that song, man.
Money and they'll steal your heart. Yep.
On and on and on, as they say, or as the segment goes. Now, and then great Stephen Bishop and great Blutarski and great Animal House knowledge. And by the way, was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? And every time I used to say that, I would always get the gratuitous tweets and what are you talking about, the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? It's amazing how many people still don't realize that that's from one of the most iconic movies of all time, Michael.
Germans?
When I
Forget it, he's rolling.
teach public speaking at Villanova University, I show Blutarski's soliloquy to the class at the beginning. I show Patton's thing at the beginning of the movie, George C. Scott. I show that, and I show the I Have a Dream speech to say, here's what you got to do. D.H. Lawrence said it. Keep quiet until you have something to say, and then say it hot. And that's what I'm trying to get my students to do.
How about saying, what's the other line from Dean Wormer?
Was it over when
No.
What,
Dean Wormer, when he
What,
says
fat, drunk, and stupid
is no way to go through life, son.
Yes.
Fat, drunk, and stupid. What do you mean? That's the only way to go through life. If you look at these kids graduating college right now, look at the couch guy here.
What?
He's not that fat, by the way. I apologize. He's not that fat.
One of the nicknames for one of my pledge brothers was FDS, which stood for fat, drunk, and stupid.
I thought it was a feminine hygiene product.
Feminine deodorant
spray, exactly. I don't leave home without that. I always have it in the car. You never know, because it's
gotta be fresh. You got to be fresh.
Keep it fresh. Michael Bradley, the Daily Hombre. Now, what did you write about in your most recent musings?
He hasn't done one in a while.
I'm overwhelmed with basketball previews, so I haven't written for a couple of weeks. I'm previewing 72 college basketball teams.
All right,
I'm not
so
lying.
you're previewing college basketball teams. Are we going to have a season?
I don't know, but I hope that all of my work gets done and I get paid before somebody does not. That's the most important thing. That Duke and Duke get the commission.
What about if they cancel the season in 2 weeks?
Right.
You did all that work for nothing.
I wrote between June 20th and July 24th, I will have written 45,000 words. I'm not exaggerating.
Now, of course, we got people on the Twitch stream saying that the Big Ten is canceling non-conference games, and that cost Temple a win against Rutgers this year.
Oh, man.
Exactly. Although Schiano's at Rutgers now. That's he knows what's going to happen there.
Exactly.
But it'll take a while. But you're right. The Owls lost a win there.
Exactly.
But now, what happens with college football? We see the Ivy League, the Patriot League, have done away with their seasons. Colonial, right? So.
I don't know how you play. I mean, look, the SEC will try to play football until they have to go out there with a steam shovel and scrape up the players. But I don't know how some of these other places do it. The reason they're getting rid of the non-conference games is they're going to be able to establish conference protocols that everybody must follow. If Michigan's playing Arkansas State, they can't mandate that Arkansas State does it. But if Michigan's playing Illinois, they can say both sides have to do this. That can make it safer.
No, I agree with you. And, depending on who you read, everybody's got opinion columns and they can feel how they want. But I like there's no way they're going to play and they shouldn't play. What are they thinking? You're not one of those guys. I'm telling you right. You don't say, I'm telling you people, do not play sports. Even though my job depends on it, I want you not to play.
I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is you're going to have to be really careful with this because if we get to the point where kids not only get sick but end up on ventilators or whatever, the folks that allow for the sports to be played are going to be on the spit and being roasted. So as John Calipari said to me 2 weeks ago, I said, John, what's going to happen? Because I have no idea, and anybody who tells you that he knows is lying. So as of today, We're going to prepare. We're going to establish protocols. We're going to let the people work out. We're going to hope that there's football. I mean, what do I want? No football? What are you kidding me? What am I going to do on Saturdays in the fall?
Play golf.
Yard work? God, yeah, play golf. That's it.
Rake leaves. I mean, there's a lot of important jobs that you have. Come on, man.
I have somebody to handle that. We have too many trees.
We had Matt Vasgersian on yesterday, and he's got a great tan because he's out in the yard doing gardening work and all kinds of landscaping.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm playing golf and landscaping, and that's about all I have to do for fun.
Now, you're manscaping. That's the bigger question because, that's important right now. One of our great sponsors, Manscaped.com. Manscaped.com. Michael Bradley, the Daily Hombre. All right, so now let's get to the baseball now because we're ready. I mean, next Thursday night.
6 days.
A week from last night, man, we'll have baseball. And you saw the big story today, Harry. We had Matt Vasgersian talking about sounds. They are going to be using sound effects from MLB The Game. They'll have a DJ or a guy that runs they'll have 75 different drops. How about that, Harry?
So is there going to be a guy sitting there with a
They should have hired me.
Yeah.
I can sit there and play all kinds of stuff like
4.
How many pitches did he just get before he slapped that baby in the gap, Harry? 4. Exactly right. Uh-oh, he's swinging a miss. He struck him out. I know. I'm amusing myself. Are you still now? You've got now. Look what he has behind him now.
Judge Smales.
He has Judge Smales on the sailboat on the little. It wasn't really a big sailboat. It was a
flying wasp.
The flying wasp. Judge Smales.
I'm christening my sloop. No, I'll tell you what. There's gonna be an exhibition baseball game on Sunday night on the 4-letter network. I will be watching it. All right, I'm dying. I need some actual sporting action. I can't watch the left turn crowd. I'm watching a lot of golf, but I can't. I need an actual sport. I'm watching Korean baseball in the morning.
You are?
I'm watching Korean baseball.
My boy John Shambi doing the call at 4:30 in the morning, man.
Yeah, it's funny to hear him because the other guys just give him a hard time all the time. He deserves it. So I like watching that.
Well, are you going to be watching? I know the Sixers are going to have 3 of their practice scrimmages against other teams on television. It's going to be must-see TV.
No, I can't.
Shake Milton at the point guard, Michael.
I can't watch NBA basketball when it means something.
Wow, he's with you.
Let me put my hands together right now, ladies and gentlemen. He's a man who understands. He understands what this country is all about. How America comes first, not China, Harry. Not who?
China.
By the way, how's you've been watching Korean? How's our boy Aaron Altair doing? Is he still tearing the cover off the ball?
I haven't seen him lately. On the dynos. They haven't been showing the dynos. They've shown a lot of the other teams, but I'm sure Aaron's just tearing it up there. It's perfect. He's on the 3rd best baseball league in the world. He's that bad. We don't want him back on a major league roster. Altair means old man in German, and he played it.
Wow. What about cardboard cutouts of fans in the stands? Are you advocating for that?
Big time. I want to see that. I want to see somebody's head get taken off by a foul ball at one of the cutouts. I want it all. I want this to be as virtually ridiculous as possible.
Just make it realistic and have people
sound effects. No, it's not
have people looking at their phones instead of the game.
Have a bunch of women
cutout.
have like women with big breast cutouts, and they're just always on down looking at their phone. Now there's some strapper guys too. I don't want to just blame the women.
It's not just women.
No, but the women who are there, especially the women who go because their boyfriend takes them or their their side piece takes them. I mean, I got seats down low. She's always looking at the phone. Let's be honest.
I want a cutout of a guy behind the plate doing this. When they got the good seats, they're waving at their friends.
Yeah.
I want those.
And they're on their phone because they're talking to their buddies and they're waving.
But you know what else I want?
Row 1. How am I doing?
I jokingly said this last week. We need to get those annoying guys that go woo or whistle or swing bada swing. Wouldn't that be great too?
Yeah, I think that would be great also. So I want
this one.
I want everything that you can get at the game. But if I were commissioner of baseball, anybody caught waving at the camera in rows 1 through 5 would get a warning. Second time they're up in the euchre seats. you forfeited your right.
You throw them out.
Have you noticed, like, every one of these
Vinnie
references
Barbarino.
is from the 70s?
Up your nose with a rubber hose,
All
baby.
the movies, Jaws, Animal House,
I know.
Caddyshack.
Caddyshack was from the early 80s, Harry.
Come
on, Harry.
1980?
Yeah, this is good. I jumped right into the Mr. Cotter spot right here.
Mr. Cotter.
Fonz.
The Fonz in there, jump the shark. Are you saying you've jumped the shark now?
Are you kidding me? 30 years ago.
Mr. Cotter. Everybody hits. And then the whistling guys.
Right.
Especially in an empty stadium. Because those games, late-night games, and it's extra innings, and it's raining, and there's like 10 people left in the seats, and then there's that one guy who whistles, and it's annoying, and it echoes through the entire stadium.
Like when they used to play up in Montreal, that place used
Jarry
to be
Park.
totally empty.
Oh, yeah,
the
Olympic Stadium. Yeah, that was a cavern up there, man. Now, this is why the youth of America, I don't know whether he's part of the reason that the youth of America are messed up when they leave college, or he's actually part of the solution when he puts all the slideshows up of some of the great memorable scenes.
Now he's got Mo Green.
Mo Green in there with the broken left lens there. Or is that his right lens?
It's his right lens. He got shot in the eye, Mo Green. He's getting a massage.
No, you better,
Mike,
if you
don't come to Las Vegas and talk to a man like Mo Green like that.
Now, for those of you who are only listening on the radio,
this is what you miss when you don't have the Twitch channel on.
I know. You're missing out on all the extra visuals.
I'm Mo Green. People are already saying Michael Bradley 2020.
Yeah.
Would you, if Joe Biden decided he did not have to have a woman of color and he called you to be his vice president, because you have a lot of ties to Delaware, Villanova, it's all, you're running those circles with all those guys. Would you take the nomination as the vice president of the United States if Joe Biden offered it to you?
I will not run. If elected, I will not serve.
That's the way I like it, Ben. That's what I would say, too. But I said yesterday, Morgana the Kissing Bandit.
Yeah.
If you're going to do cardboard cutouts, you got to put the rock and rollin' guy in Kansas City. Remember him with the big wig?
Oh yeah,
rock and rollin'.
316.
Yes,
yeah,
John 3. his nickname was Rock and Rollin'.
Okay,
back in the day, it's good stuff. And you got to bring in the Lollipop Guild too, Harry.
And you need
the Oompa Loompas.
Yeah, that's the Oompa Loompas from Willy Wonka. Get it right, Tony.
And you need the Marlins man too.
He'll be there no matter
Marlins
what.
man is always behind.
He will be the only guy who pays to go into an empty stadium and sit there, so he can sit alone in an empty stadium, so he can get in the camera shot. What's that?
Let me ask you a question. They're actually, they're going to consider whether they're going to allow people to go to games.
Right.
So say they're going to put 10,000 people in Citizens Bank Park and socially distance and all that stuff and food delivery to your seats and scheduled times to go to the bathroom. Are you going to go?
Sounds like my nights at home.
Exactly.
I mean,
hell yeah, I'll go.
Yeah, why not?
Hell yeah, I'll go.
You go?
Yeah, what do I want to do? Sit at home and die? If I'm going to die, let us die drunk at least. That's our motto on the show. If you're going to make us die, let us die drunk at least.
You got to wear a mask, though.
I'll wear a mask.
Well, why do I have to?
He's got the Michigan helmet.
Why would
mask.
you have to wear a mask if you're socially distancing?
Because it's an airborne disease. You sneeze and it's going to come to me.
I'm not going to sneeze.
Here's my rules. It's my game. You got to play by my rules.
All right.
You got to wear a mask.
Well, then I'm staying home.
All right.
Yeah.
No
I wear masks when I'm at home, but they're a little more pleasurable than the ones you wear, especially without the Michigan thing on there. You know what I mean? Now, Harry, who was the last slide that is behind him right now? Let's see if you can guess this one, Robin.
I know it.
I don't.
Robin?
That's Divine.
Okay.
The great Divine
Pink
from
Flamingos.
Yeah.
Pink Flamingos, baby.
Okay.
Well, she pretty much looked the same in almost every movie, but
how did that make the cut, Michael?
The Villanova kids like Divine. I mean, you have to explain who Divine is.
No, this is for my Michigan friends who went and saw the movie Pink Flamingos with me when we were at Michigan.
Wow.
Midnight movies.
Why don't you have Seymour in there, the plant from Little Shop of Horrors, for God's sake?
That's not a bad one.
It's a good one, man.
Jesus.
Next time he's on Zoom, it'll be added, I'm sure.
So how many slides do you have that you can load in the background now?
I tried to get one for Harry. I tried to get the Sport magazine cover with Jan Stevenson on it, but it wouldn't fill the frame. You didn't see the whole thing. You remember that, Harry?
No.
Are you too young?
Yeah, probably.
Take a look at it on the internet.
You remember Jan Stevenson, the great golfer, Harry?
Yeah,
the Australian. She was Australian, right?
Yeah.
She was beautiful.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they got this cover past the censors, because it's apparent that it's a little cold where the picture was being.
Oh, okay.
By the way, speaking of hots, do you see who's in the Sports Illustrated swimsuit model? A 56-year-old woman.
She was on before when she was younger, I believe, years ago.
Yeah, she's
right?
on now.
Yeah.
And she's still smoking?
Oh, she looks really good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I think 56 is her age. I got to find the story. I had it earlier. You can see it. You know who had it on? Outkick.
Okay.
On Outkick, their
Outkick,
page,
the coverage,
they have a picture of her, and she looks spectacular.
Oh, yeah,
to
there's
this
Jan
day.
Stevenson.
And Jan Stevenson, the great Australian.
She never won a tournament, but she always won the TV accolade.
Exactly right.
Absolutely.
Well, Michael,
Yvonne Rivette Salvander, is that the woman? They were the cover
there she
girls,
is up
the
there.
twins.
56 years old. What is her name, Harry?
Kathy Jacobs.
Yeah,
Kathy Jacobs. Not Bruce Jacobs.
Mm-hmm.
There you have it.
Yeah.
She's 56
That's
years
right in
old.
my wheelhouse, Mike.
Absolutely. Now that's a cougar I can agree with right
exactly.
there. Did you see her pictures, Robin?
I'm pulling them up right
She's
now.
only 5'3", but that's okay, huh?
Hey, that's all right.
It's all right with me. Michael Bradley, ladies and gentlemen, let's put your hands together.
Now, does 5'3", does that qualify as a spinner?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
if you're 6 foot, at least.
Yeah.
If you're a guy, if you're 5'8", that's not a spinner.
Right.
If you're a short dude, that's not a spinner.
Yeah.
Michael, thank you, sir. Always great to see you, man.
I'll leave you with Lenny and Squiggy.
Lenny, of course, a former scout for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Did you know that,
Yes,
right?
I did.
That man knew his baseball.
Wow.
He knew his baseball.
All right,
Michael Bradley, don't forget to check him at Daily Ombre.
Robin, thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
So long, suckers.
Rack that guy. We're coming back. Open lines, 215-462-8669. 215-462-8669. And then the strapper line. Any strapper calls tonight? Beautiful. You can call 24/7, 856-818-4045. We're coming right back.
Woo-wee.
Uh-oh, people are reacting to Gronk's Madden NFL 21 rating. You know what it is, Harry?
What is it?
So I think Bradley probably should have.
97.
Michael probably should have been a little bit closer to his computer.
Yeah.
That's okay. We can still hear him.
No, we can still hear him, but.
Apparently, there's going to be a movie about this Jan Stevenson, and Margot Robbie is going to play her.
Oh, beautiful. You don't remember Jan Stevenson?
Yeah,
there?
vaguely. I mean, women's golf back then was.
No, but she was a cover girl. It was like.
Right.
It's like the what's her face? Danica Patrick had one shit.
Yeah, and they just broke up. Did
I know.
You see that?
Did she dump him or did he dump her?
I don't know. Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, this is the infamous picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she had the high beams on.
Yeah.
Well,
no, that's
that
not
was,
the picture right there.
No,
that's a brain.
Don't worry, it's coming.
That's my brain on drugs.
That was back in the day when it was a big deal to not wear. Whoops, that's not the photograph. It's
Well, that was her
closely, I
later
know.
in life, but the cover right there on Sport Magazine.
Yes, I know, Tony. Back in the day, that was in the 70s when it was a big deal not to wear
a bra. Yeah.
I never wore a bra either.
Well, it's better for you not to.
Can I see the Sport Illustrated cover or the Sports Magazine?
Tony, I'm scrolling down
there
to it.
Okay, there it is. Look at that, Har.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts?
She can play in my foursome anytime.
Damn right. I prefer her in my threesome, though, Har. You know what I'm saying?
2 chicks at the same time, man.
Here, let me show everybody.
I was more of a Nancy Lopez kind of guy. Yeah.
Really, really quick.
Or
for
Joanne
those of
Carter,
you,
Big Mama Joanne Carter.
Time to say goodbye to everybody on YouTube, Periscope, Facebook. Make sure you
Where
make
are they
the switch.
going?
They need to switch over to Twitch so they can see the rest of the show, damn it.
Get your ass on Twitch. You see what happened? Once again, I got to give myself a roaring round of applause today, Harry.
Why's that?
It's not my style to brag or pat myself on the back or scratch my back with a hacksaw.